I think Arsenal, like Arteta keeps saying, right? They're entering their next phase, the final phase, which is Arteta getting sacked. I think this is going to happen this season. He's taken 5 seasons and not won anything. It's ridiculous, right? Like even United have won more than them.
Okay, hello and welcome to a new episode of Off the Bench with RGT. I have got a very special guest back on the podcast. We discuss football 24/7, so thought it's high time that I have him back before the new Premier League season gets underway. So, Parth, what are your thoughts and what are your feelings about the new season coming up in just a few days from now?
Firstly, thank you, Ronak, for inviting me back. Really excited, really happy. And I think from an excitement perspective, dude, United is just weird, right? We end the season fully depressed, and then the club somehow has a way to make us believe again, right? So it's just, I'm frustrated with myself for feeling excited and happy about the season.
Exactly. That's what most of the United fans have said, right? That they've got us excited over the summer and heartbreak is to follow most likely. But hoping it's not that way. Hoping it's not that way. Fair enough, man. A lot of transfer business, but today we will be discussing the new forward lines for some of the big clubs in the Premier League. I mean, Liverpool, Chelsea, United, City, Arsenal have all spent massively on rejigging their forward lines. So let's dive right in. Okay, so let's dive right in, Parth. The first team we want to talk about today is Arsenal. So much to and fro with their striker search, but finally, at least Arteta saw that he needed a striker. For the last 5 seasons, he's been buying midfielders after midfielders. So Gyökeres and Madueke have been their attacking reinforcements this season. What are your thoughts on them and just their attack in general for this season?
I think Arsenal, like Arteta keeps saying, right? They're entering their next phase, the final phase, which is Arteta getting sacked. I think this is going to happen this season. He's taken 5 seasons and not won anything. It's ridiculous, right? Like even United have won more than them in the last 3-4 seasons. So I think, and plus if the signings were good, I would have thought about him winning the league also. But Madueke really, like Anthony Elanga is better than him. It has been more productive than him last year and has been cheaper than him this. Newcastle at bottom was cheaper. Even though we can also discuss Newcastle's transfer strategy, which is also really funny.
But that requires a separate podcast altogether, I feel, Parth.
Yeah, but I really don't think they've really upgraded their front line that much. They already had Trossard, Havertz was doing well.
Yeah.
And Gyökeres is a risk. Like even when United were linked, I was not fully sure because he is a risk. He's not done it in the league, so I don't really think.
Yeah, but I mean, come on, he scored 60 goals last season. You have to give him some credit.
Yeah, and some of them were against City, so yeah, okay, they do slightly better, but I don't think they're going to win the league. Honestly, I don't think they have the cutting edge to win the league.
I mean, I was just surprised when they went for Madueke and splashed 50 plus million again. Madueke is predominantly a right winger. I know he's left footed, but for Chelsea, he's always played on the right wing, right? So why on earth would you give Waneri a new contract, have Saka as your main right winger, and then go spend 50 million on Madueke? Because he's not going to be half as effective on the left side. I mean, even if he is effective at all, if I'm honest. And Martinelli is not great on the left winger, right? They should have prioritized maybe an Eze or someone to come in and play from the left side. But I mean, I don't get some of their thinking when it comes to their window. Do you agree with that?
I think they want someone to take left-footed corners also if Saka's not playing. I think that is their strategy. Because there's set pieces, right? Stoke sitting.
Set piece team for all the tactics that they've spoken about. They're so much of a set piece team.
But
Anyway, sorry.
Better in pre-season. Like they were taking some really good corners. So clearly still practicing that.
And you know, the irony is Arteta is not even responsible for that. It's that other guy, right? They have a set piece coach. So it's quite funny. I mean, to be honest, Arteta's tactics are also Pep's tactics. It's not really Arteta's tactics if you think about it. Okay, Parth, let's discuss Chelsea. A lot has been said about them in the football media recently. So to just, start off and kick us off, what do you think about their strategy when it comes to transfer, especially after Todd Bowley has taken over?
Dude, I think they're insane, right? Like they just keep buying players. I don't know what they plan to do with these guys, and they're giving them all 10-year contracts. So it's obviously tempting for like a 18, 20-year-olds who doesn't know what will happen in their career to come here, right? You're getting a 10-year contract. So weird strategy. And this season, especially, they spent 150 million on people who were struggling to start for Brighton, right? I don't think any of their signings very clearly starts for Brighton. So I don't know what the hell they're doing. But they sell well,
Do you
right?
think they
Especially
have? They, yeah, that kind of leads me on to their point about to the point about their strategy, right? They buy players in bulk, but I guess in like a year or two, they're happy to sell them and they sell for good money. So effectively, it's just a buy and sell strategy. There's no long term thinking, at least when it comes to keeping the players and giving them a fair enough chance.
it's more like a valuation building exercise rather than actually a sports winning exercise. And I think that will translate. They will not win this year again, right? And if you're spending 200 million, 300 million every year and still not winning the trophies, then what is the point of it?
Correct. And I'm assuming when you say trophies, you mean the big one, not the conference league, right? Okay, and if I just touch upon the attackers they bought and they are rumored to buy, João Pedro for 50 million plus, Jamie Gittins for 50 million plus, Liam Delap, okay, 30 million, but he's not some big shot anyway. Xavi Simons, again, 50 million plus, Garnacho, 40, 50 million. They just don't stop buying attackers. And do you think like some of these buys are even value for money because some of their stats are not very impressive from last year?
No, I don't really think it's value for money, but they're hoping that one of these guys clicks and goes for 150 million. And the rest they can move on at the same price or similar prices because they're still young, right? Even when they will get better by the time they're 25. So if you can get 60 million for the rest and 100 million for one, you made your money back and some. I think that is the strategy, but again, it's weird. From a sporting perspective, it's weird. They should be looking to buy a captain, a leader, right? They don't have one right now. And they just keep buying these young players. But yeah, it's super weird. They will again finish fourth, third, fourth, at best, third maybe. And they will not win again. Yeah. Like the same thing is going to repeat again. So I really don't understand.
Okay, let's talk about the reigning Premier League champions now, Liverpool. They've lost a couple of attackers in Darwin Nunez and Luis Diaz. They've got Ekitike for 69 plus million pounds, and they've got Florian Wirtz for 115 odd million pounds. What are your thoughts on their new look attack, Parth?
I think they're still the main man is Salah. If he clicks, they'll do well. If he doesn't click, they will be okay. I think Wirtz is okay signing, yet to be proven because generally Bundesliga signings don't work in the Premier League.
And why do you say that? Why do you think they don't work in the Premier League?
I think the pace is different. Like they are very technical players who play well in the slower leagues, but same as the Dutch league carry forward, right? But I don't think it really works in the Premier League. The speed is a difference. They are physical players because the Bundesliga is quite physical, but not really fast. So I think they'll struggle a little bit there, but Wirtz is good, right? He can adapt early. He might become very good, but I don't think he'll have the Salah kind of impact.
Are you in a nutshell saying that if Salah doesn't have a good season, even with the likes of Wirtz and Ekitike, they might not really do well this year?
If Salah doesn't have a good season, I don't think they'll do really well. They won't win the league. They'll do well. They'll finish second, third because the core team is good. But I don't think they'll win the league. I think City is going to pick the league this year.
Wow. Why do you say that? I think that team is quite. It's not as good as a couple of years back, if I'm honest. City's.
Yeah, but if Haaland clicks again, right? Like it is your talisman clicking, and Haaland had a bad season last year, and they still did reasonably well. So, and if Haaland clicks, and Mamouche is decent, and they've also honestly spent a lot of money as well. So let's not forget that.
Correct. And what are your thoughts on Hugo Ekitike for? He's actually a more expensive signing than Benjamin Šeško, but no one's really talking about that.
I still don't understand what's his position. Is he a striker? Is he a right forward? Like what is he? I still don't get it. So I think honestly, I've not seen too much of him also. So
yeah, fair. And potentially Liverpool getting Isak. What are your thoughts on that? I mean, if he comes in, of course, he's going to be.
He can be the Salah replacement. He has the 25 goal, 30 goal a season capability. So if he comes in, they've taken the lead. Like there is no discussion around this.
For sure, right? Like he is probably, I mean, last year's best forward player for sure in the league, right?
Yeah. So if I was Newcastle, I would not sell him because they will clearly not be able to replace him. So
And I mean, they should just. I don't think he sets on a lot of money anyway. So if he's behaving like the way he is, I mean, just to mess up or rather have the league be competitive next year, they should just not let Isak go because I have a feeling if Isak goes to Liverpool, they're pretty much all take.
it's the same thing that United should do with our Ronaldo plus Messi regen, right?
We'll come to that. We'll come to that in a minute. But tell me something about Liverpool. I know they've redone their attack and they're going really heavy on attack, right? Spending all their money on attack. But you know what? I watched the Community Shield game a couple of days back, and if the opposition has a go at them and they're dominating possession, Liverpool's defense looks shaky. Like Van Dijk is not the same Van Dijk. And I don't think they've got a replacement for. I think they just have two fit centre backs in Konate and Van Dijk. What are your thoughts on their defense?
Have Gomez also.
Yeah, but come on, man. Gomez is.
Konate is going to wait properly. Konate, there are lots of rumors about Real Madrid, so he might not be there. But they were recently bidding for Mark Guehi again, so I think they will buy a centre back before the window closes. I think they're just waiting for prices to fall in the last couple of weeks.
What are your thoughts on Van Dijk? Do you think he's still going to be the same player?
I always thought he was shit, to be honest. So even though he's Dutch, and I love Dutch players,
He's your Dutch captain, Parth.
I've never really rated him. He's a good defender. He's not amazing.
Just the last point, what that I want to discuss. I know Florian Wirtz has super potential. Like, I'm not taking anything away from that. But the funny fact is no one is talking about his price or his wages. Supposedly he's on some 350 or 400 grand a week. No one's talking about that and his transfer fee as well.
Yeah, because which is ridiculous. These journalists are all Liverpool biased. Like, you have to understand that they hate United because United ruined their childhood, right? So anyone who is not a United fan in the journalist world is a United hater. And they all like Liverpool. Yeah. So if United had done something like this would be converted into different currencies and like really inflated. But United are paying this birds $1 million in some weird currency. Like, it would just be ridiculous. And honestly, he's not as good as Musiala. So he's not even the best number 10 in the German league. So
you actually you rate Musiala higher than Wirtz?
100%. Like, there is no comparison.
Yeah, fair. Even I do. But in Germany, everyone's just crazy about Wirtz. But we saw in the Euros last year, right? Musiala was clearly their better player.
And Wirtz, I don't think was starting. He was coming into games. He was not starting.
Yeah, that's true. That's true, actually. Yeah. Okay, let's finally talk about Manchester United. It was pretty evident from last year what our biggest problem was. That was goals. We scored 44 goals all of last season. We've gone out and spent money on Šeško, Cunha and Mbumo, who had a combined goal contribution of 48 last year, which is 4 more goals than our entire team combined. What are your initial thoughts on this new attack?
Yeah, they're trying to moneyball it, right? Like, just buy goals and assists now. But one important part is we're trying to buy goals, but I feel the bigger problem was creating the goals. We had our XG was, if you see the table, it was around where we finished. Like, it was 15th in the league. So I think a big problem that we need to solve is finding the right partner for Bruno, because the XG rises when Bruno becomes a midfield connector. And Cunha and Mbumo, of course, they're great, right? They'll finish the chances, they'll make the right runs. But I don't think either of them are very, very creative. Mbumo can be because he crosses well, and if you have Šeško finishing those chances and not playing like Holland,
correct,
there is something there. But I think the bigger problem is solving the chance creation problem and not the goal scoring problem. But I think the major part is fixing the midfield.
Yeah, and when you say fixing the midfield, you just mean you need someone to come turn the defense, get the ball from the back, and just drive forward and connect our defense to our attack, basically, right? And help Bruno in creation.
Yeah, right now, if you see, once we start playing, how we'll play is we'll lump up the ball to a striker who knocks it down to either Mbuemo or Cunha, and then we take it from there. I think that is how we'll play.
Correct. Correct.
But we need to play through the midfield, right? And that is how Amorim wants to play also. So
Correct. But having said all of that, I completely agree. But Ineos definitely deserve credit for getting these three players in. I mean, if I just go based on data, these guys were, they scored 13 goals, 15 goals respectively. Or if I'm not wrong, Mbomo actually scored 20 goals, right? Not even 15 last year. And Cunha got 13 odd goals last year as well. So if I just compare stats with value, these guys are definitely worth the amount we paid for them, right? I mean, if you've seen this market, players like Elanga and Kudus have gone for 55 odd million. Madueke has gone for 52 million. So paying 60, 65 million for probably the best two attackers outside of the top six from last year, you have to give credit. And I'm sure that's going to improve our play and goals for sure this season.
yeah, 100%. Like Mbuemo, I've been telling you for 2-3 years now that we should sign, right? He was amazing from his first season itself. Like he was really good.
Yeah.
So I think the signings, of course, are much, much better value. And I think Cunha was easier and came at that value because he had a release clause. Mbuemo, we have negotiated well. And also the player pushing, I think, has created better value deals for us, because if the player wants to go, the club has to sell, right? So I think that is a very
and you get a little bit of a discount basically. You get like 4-5 million off basically. Yeah.
And then you see the agent reducing commission, the player reducing salaries. I think the strategy to buy players who want to come to United and play for United and are not coming for the money like in the past, I think is an important change in the culture.
I think two things which we've done very well so far this year is we've not really had the club to club talks first. We've convinced the player, and that kind of guarantees 70% of the deal already, right? Because club to club talk,
which is technically not allowed.
Yeah, exactly. But you tap up the player behind the back. But I've actually not seen this happen earlier, right? We've had to convince players to join us, right? Whether it was the Di Maria or the Alexis Sanchez or whoever, right? But these guys, Frankie de Jong, we had an agreement with Barcelona for months, but he didn't want to come. So I think the fact that Cunha, Mbumo, and these are big players from last year's league, right? Again, I don't want to jinx it. I don't want to get too excited. But I have to be optimistic about the two of them joining for sure. Sheshko, a little bit more unproven. But, I mean, based on the stats and based on what I've heard and read and seen in videos, sky's the ceiling, man. Like, honestly, this guy, he's not a Højlund.
It was the same for Højlund when he came also. So I would not get...
No. I do not agree it was the same as Højlund. I do not agree with that. I mean, come on, man. Like, just his three traits of ball, like connecting with the ball, hitting the ball, his aerial threat, and his pace. I don't think we had any of those features or characteristics in Højlund. Yes, Højlund was good, he was promising, but come on, you cannot compare him to him.
He might turn out to be a Darwin Núñez. That's my only worry. But honestly, I also like Núñez. That I don't hate him, so I wouldn't have minded him at United.
You wanted Núñez at United. Yeah, exactly. I remember that.
Because he creates chaos in the opposition's defense. Like, he disrupts play. So I think that is something we've been missing. Like, our play has been too predictable, right? So I think this is something which Sesko will add.
And Højlund kind of created chaos in our own play, right? He would always lose the ball and pass it backwards and then kick the post in frustration, which I didn't get. But I mean, last topic about United, which I mean is on every United fan's lip right now, Alejandro Garnacho. What are your thoughts on him?
He should just go. I think what they should do is, even if there is an offer, they should not sell him. They should keep him in the reserves for 1 year. It's a World Cup year. He'll miss the World Cup. Just to prove a point that you cannot come in and behave like this. Right? If he had just stayed off social media and his family had stayed off social media, all the fans used to love him. Last game of the season, people were singing his name.
When he was not even playing.
And he's just doing it for himself. And there are better ways to do this, right? Like, the club has done a lot for you. So you do it respectfully. And the way he's asked for the transfer is not nice. And I think he'll go like there is. But I think we should not sell him. We should keep him for a year. It's okay. His salary is hardly anything.
Nothing. I think he earns like 40 grand a week, if I'm not wrong, which is nothing for the club, right? But I mean, even if he even if that doesn't happen, we should not sell him for less than 50 million. We should not just succumb to his pressure and the other clubs wanting him, saying that, it's late in the window. They know United want to sell him. But he deserves to suffer, I feel. I hate to say it because he's one of our own. But this is messed up attitude, man. Like, he thinks he's become Maradona, Pele, Ronaldo, Messi, like you said earlier. At the age of 21, like, what is this entitlement? What has he achieved? Nothing.
I would do an agreement to sell him next year for 50 million and keep him 1 year in the reserves. Some club is stupid enough to do this.
Just to punish him, basically.
And of course, if Madueke is going for 50, Garnacho's at least 80, honestly.
Yeah.
Then we do need the money, so we might need to sell.
That's the thing. If we get the money to put it in the kitty for Baleba right away, bro, sell him for 40 million if that helps in getting Baleba.
And I don't understand what these other guys are doing. Why aren't Malacia, Anthony, all these guys, why aren't they sorting out their moves? Why are they just sitting around?
I read Anthony wants to wait for Betis and Betis wants to give us a loan or offer a loan towards the end of the window. He's rejected like 3-4 clubs already, and that's just him being stupid. Again, they're just not prioritizing their careers, I feel like. That's why I respect Rashford, He said that, I'm going to go. I'm going to take a pay cut or whatever it is. And I think it was a little bit of a mutual feeling with Rashford because obviously Rashford is more to us than Garnacho is, right? And however it ended with Rashford, he's done a lot for us. And he's a Mancunian boy. So we kind of sanctioned that loan because he'd kind of deserved it and didn't go shit about us like Garnacho has been shitting about us. That's what pisses me off the most.
And Garnacho was seen with a vape yesterday. Like, what the fuck are you doing? You're a footballer. Now, I don't know if that image is real or like AI generated, but it has been going around on Twitter.
Wow, I haven't seen that. Wow.
But yeah, I am hopeful about United's season, honestly. I think top 4 will be a good target, especially if we get Baleba.
Yeah, if we get Baleba, I mean, it changes everything, honestly. Like, I think he's worth the 100 odd million that we pay. Like, everyone questioned Caicedo a couple of years back for 100, 115. You see his value to Chelsea, right? Sometimes you just have to... You see Declan Rice's value as well. Arsenal paid 100 million and he's one signing who is probably their second best player after Saka, right? And I think at times for players like them, you need to spend that money.
Yeah. But honestly, I'm not fully convinced that Baleba. He's had one good season. So
Caicedo also had one good season, right? For Brighton. And then look what
it's a risk at the end of the day. Like, you don't... It's not a sure shot. But then we all thought Casemiro was a sure shot, so...
Yeah, exactly.
And are we going to watch a game together this year?
Our luck, whether it's on TV or live, it really doesn't change, Parth. So I think we should give Amorim at least one season because I don't want him to get sacked, if I'm honest.
Yeah, but we saw the Spurs game last season, no?
Yeah, when Bruno got sent off. The one guy I wanted to watch all my life has got sent off. Wow. And look at your luck. The first game you went for, Ronaldo didn't play. The second game you went for, Bruno got sent off. That is just ridiculous. Okay, last but not the least, Newcastle United, Parth. What a shambles of a window they've had. Like, I feel bad for them, but I want to laugh at them as well because, the amount of times they trolled us last season. But I think 11 players have rejected them this summer, and I'm sure there will be more.
There's a full starting lineup of people who rejected them. Like, it's too funny that. But it's just, I think they're also new to, like, the new leadership and stuff. The owners are new to how this works. They think throwing money at everything works, but that doesn't really. And you have to go and convince the players to come. Like, United took the right route, right? And buying this. But of course, it's been a disaster, and I'm sure some people are losing their jobs.
No, but Parth, Newcastle at times, right? Number one, okay, they didn't have a sporting director supposedly all summer, right? Because Paul Mitchell left. So someone, I think, from the negotiations team was leading everything with Eddie Howe, which is obviously not easy to do. And I feel for Eddie Howe, right? Because last summer also they couldn't really sign anyone. They just had Lewis Hall and Livramento, I think, if I'm not wrong. And he was promised a lot this year. And they've got Champions League as well. But one thing which I keep saying and thinking is that they have to understand their place, man. They're still not the big boys. They're still not part of the big boys. So at times, players will choose other clubs over them. They just think, I know Eddie Howe in his press conference a couple of days back said, yeah, we are Newcastle United. But Newcastle United versus an Arsenal or Man United is nothing. And I think he needs to kind of understand that.
I also feel it's a function of the location, right? Like, and United have lost out on players before this. People don't want to live in Newcastle yet.
Correct.
That's a big factor which people ignore, especially someone coming in from South America who doesn't know the UK so well will want to go to London. First preference will always be London. And then you have historical names such as Manchester United, like, and all these clubs. So no one, and Liverpool. So why would I go to a Newcastle who I probably never even heard of, to be honest? Like that Robinho story, do you remember when he signed for City? He thought he was signing for United. He didn't know there's a club called Manchester City.
He said the only club in Manchester I thought was United.
Yeah, exactly. So why would someone go to Newcastle when a United or a Liverpool or an Arsenal, which is based out of London, is coming in for you?
And I think one thing which they've done very stupidly this summer is shown their budget to other clubs. Now, Brentford is not going to sell Visa for less than 40 million to them now because they know that Newcastle has the money. They bid 90 million for Ekitike and Sheshko. So clearly they know they have the money. And I think that's why Nottingham Forest got a great deal for Elanga, right? 55 million for Elanga is massive.
Yeah, but Elanga, to be honest, was really good last year. So I think that is deserved. And it's not, maybe it's worth 40, right? Like not 50, maybe 35, 40 is what the right price.
Correct. Yeah, but I mean, now shaping up for the rest of the window path, obviously Newcastle need reinforcements. They're in trouble. They bought only 2 players. One of them is Aaron Ramsdale on loan, which is ridiculous by itself. But the rest of the window, I think they're going to suffer because clubs will just quote them ridiculous fees because they know they have the money and they're desperate now.
I think there is one very reasonably priced player they should go for, and it will solve a lot of their problems is Hoyland. I think the club will be willing to sell him also. I think that should be their next main target.
No, I hear you. They probably need a striker. We'll sell him for 30 million. Yeah, you're right.
Win-win.
You're right.
Hoyland goes to a club where, like a smaller club where he can develop and then move on to a bigger club also. So I think it's...
Yeah. And that's what he needs, honestly. I'm still not against Hoyland. But what he said a couple of weeks back in the US is so true that when he came in at the age of 19, he was considered to be the main striker of Manchester United because Martial was fucking injured all the time anyway, right? So he said he could have done with some help, and I agree with that. There is a player out there in a couple of years. I'm sure about that.
He should do what Dalot did, right? Went out on loan to AC Milan at like 22 years old.
Yeah.
I think there is a player there. I think he has the traits of a good player. Because first season he was so good, like he was actually good. And he seems to become worse every year.
Yeah, which is the worrying part. Exactly.
Yeah, but I think this year Newcastle will not.
Oh, no chance. They don't have the squad, especially if they lose Isak, that they're done. They think getting Visa and whoever else will help them have the same season as last year. No chance.
They did not have Europe also. I think that was a big thing.
Yeah, correct. Okay, thanks for that, Parth. Always a pleasure chatting football with you. Just to end, what are your top 4 product predictions for this season?
City, Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea.
Oh, so you still think we won't qualify for Champions League?
I don't think we'll qualify. We'll have a good chance. We'll come close if we are going to buy Baleba, but otherwise I think we'll be 6th, 7th.
Definitely better than last year.
100%.
I mean, if it's worse than last year, we just get relegated, but I don't think we can. I think we have the players now, so at least top 10, I am pretty confident about.
Yeah.
Cool, Parth. Thank you so much. Always a pleasure, and hope to have you back super soon.
Bye.